Welcome to another episode of Powerful Woman Rising. From narcissistic abuse, relationships, whatever, under the umbrella of adversity and rising to their power. I want to welcome Amy. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you, Azadeh. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I met Amy at a wonderful event and we instantly gravitated towards each other. I had the honor to work with Amy as one of my clients on a boundary, very unique situation. But what drew me to Amy was something I didn't realize until later. For sure, the fashion, the beauty, the elegance, how she carries herself. And I love her message. And you guys got to follow her and look at her work because she really talks about entrepreneurship as how we dress. Because if we don't wear what we feel confident in, we're not going to be able to execute the way we want to. And that is such a fun fact because there's so many people that have messages, but then I look at their clothes and how they carry themselves and it doesn't match. And then I'm instantly turned off.
hmm
But Amy, what drew me to you, and I want to talk about this, I didn't know until I saw one of your posts that you were bullied.
Yes, very much.
Can we just dive into that right away? Can you tell me
Yeah.
what that was like for you? I'm fascinated because I didn't know this.
Yes. So I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, in the South in the 80s and 90s. And at that time, and probably still very much so today, but definitely at that time, it was just not a very diverse place. It was the 80s and 90s in the South, so you can just imagine. And, I just didn't look like everyone else. It was obvious that I was of some kind of ethnicity. And it wasn't just that, I was heavy. So, my sister, I have an older sister, and she's 4 years older. So we were in school together, but always kind of missing each other, right? Like because of the age gap, she was kind of moving on to the next school or the next grade. So she wasn't really at school with me very much to help protect me. So I was kind of on my own, but it was also something I dealt with psychologically even at that age because my sister was so small. She's very
Oh,
skinny. To this day, she's always been very skinny. And, so I already was grappling with that psychology being a little girl and looking at my older sister and being like, why don't I look like her? And then to go to school and constantly be bullied for my weight and, I didn't look like everyone else. And then on top of that, I always had the best grades. I was always, top of my class in every grade. And so I was a target for multiple reasons. And, when you're little, you don't really understand that other kids picking on you are their own issues and insecurities and things that they're dealing with at home. That doesn't matter to you when you're little. All you know is that people don't like me and they don't like me because of XYZ. And they're making that very known to me. And, I would say that as I got older, it got more it got deeper because then you get into the age where you start liking boys and you start having crushes on boys and you start seeing your friends dating everyone and being Egyptian, I'm Egyptian, and growing up in an Egyptian household, dating was really frowned upon. So for me, at home I have this very strict upbringing, and then I go to school and I'm already being bullied. But then on top of that, I don't fit in because my friends are off doing things that I wasn't allowed to do. But it kind of didn't matter because even if I was allowed to date, I think all the guys that I liked made it very known that they wouldn't touch me with a 10-foot pole. So, you know,
oh,
yeah, it was
ah,
it was a lot to deal with. I still remember a lot of the comments that I got. I remember them like they're deeply burned memories in my mind. I can picture it like it was yesterday. Like so many instances throughout my childhood of, boys being mean to me, other kids at school being mean to me, and even sometimes my friends, people who I thought were my friends, saying things to me, kind of revealing their true feelings about how I look or how I am. And so I think when I got to high school, I got to the age where rather than try to force myself to fit in with everyone else, because at that point it was kind of clear, like, I just don't fit in, which is fine. You know, I kind of I retreated into my own world, and that's where style started to become really important for me in my life. And that's really where it came from for me. Because like I said, I didn't try hard to fit in with everyone. I didn't try hard to be something that I'm not. I just was who I was, but I was in my own world. So, I was obsessed with like the mail order catalogs that you would get as a teenager, like Delia's and Alloy, and I would cut out exactly what I wanted to order and put together outfits and like make a little order form for my parents and say like, can I please buy these things? And sometimes they would say yes, and so I started curating my own style and my own outfits, and I started to become known for that. And when that happened, I think, like, I don't even think I was really that conscious of it at the time, but in hindsight, being an adult and now understanding, what it did was create confidence for me where there was none. And
Ooh, so
yeah,
good. Can I just interrupt for a moment for
yes.
my audience? Because most of my audience is women and they're all powerhouse women. What you just said is so huge. Style gave you the confidence that you didn't have
Hmm.
in an instant.
Yes,
In an instant.
in an instant.
Were you, when you started to dress and walk in confidence, were you judged? Were you bullied now for being you?
No, I was,
Oh.
I think people, so I started to become known for my style because I had an interesting style. It was a little funky in high school, so it definitely stood out. But by the end of high school, I had people who I didn't know that well come up to me and say, "Gosh, you're so nice!" Like, because they would kind of get to know me towards the end, and I wanted to talk to you. I was just always so intimidated by you. And so what happened was instead of being this target of bullying, I mean, at least to my face, who knows what was said about me behind my back, but at least to my face, the bullying stopped. And instead, it was this different persona that I had created for myself unknowingly, that I was
Mhm.
this confident person who was very secure, secure enough to wear these crazy, funky things and be totally fine with it. And that was intimidating to people because I wasn't trying to conform. I wasn't trying to be like everybody else. I already didn't look like everybody else. And so here I was, like, arguably drawing attention to myself through this clothing, right? Like these weird pieces and things that I was wearing. And I was called out for my style. I think we had like some kind of superlatives where, I was voted like most unique style, and I'm in the yearbook for my crazy pants that I used to wear. And so at the time, when you're a kid, you don't really realize what's going on, but it's happening. And it's happening because of how people are starting to perceive you and how people are starting to react to you. And so I wasn't sitting there thinking, "Oh, that's funny, the bullying is over." I was thinking like, I'm just being me. I'm just owning who I am. These are the things I like to wear. I'm wearing them. And that's what's giving me confidence, and that's what's making me happy. And it's not until you're an adult that you can go back and look and say like, oh, interesting, like that's what was happening. I was creating this identity through my style, and that's what helped me overcome the bullying because I started showing up differently with my energy. I started showing up in a way that gave the impression like, you could say whatever you want to about me, I really don't care, I own who I am. And that's intimidating to people. It's intimidating to people even as an adult. So yeah, I think the bullying was a part of the fabric of my story, especially in my business, but
Yeah.
it was also really important for um being able to overcome something like that. It really adds this like nice flavor of adversity that you go through in your life. And so it can be a beautiful thing.
It absolutely can. And I'm looking at you and I'm seeing the shoes behind you and I've already met with you and danced with you. And I still have the clips. I might put them in here. But Amy, I think we all want to know the bullying. Was it physical? Were you getting beat up or was it? verbal and emotional, or was it all?
It was verbal and emotional, which
Oh,
I think sometimes it did almost get physical a couple of times. Um, I was fortunate enough to be able to remove myself from those situations. And I'm not saying that physical contact isn't devastating. It absolutely is. Nobody should put your hands on you unauthorized. But verbal and emotional abuse is
mm.
sometimes almost worse
Oh, it
because
is worse.
it's so deep. It runs so
Yes.
deep and it sticks with you and it traps those emotions and those emotions that are trapped, they carry on with you in your life. And so, yeah, it was very much verbal assault, emotional assault at all ages. And I shared with you before we started recording, even as an adult. Um, and so there are times to this day, to this day, I'll be walking down the street and somebody will say something very nasty to me. And I'm an adult now and I have my confidence and I just don't care. But it does kind of make me wonder sometimes, like, huh, why is this still happening to me? And like, who does that? Who screams at an adult woman in the middle of the street? But it
Oh,
does happen. And
it happens.
it
Wow.
happens.
Well, what, I mean, I tell us if you could, what you're walking down the street and somebody just decides that they're going to choose you and what do they say? Can we relive that?
Yeah, it's always something about my appearance, like fat ass or fat bitch or something like that. I was with my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, um, maybe 10 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we lived in New York City at the time, and we had gone to a show. And after the show, we were waiting on the corner for a cab and we're sitting there. There's a lot of traffic. There's not a lot of cabs coming. So we're standing there and there's a stoplight. And at the stoplight is this car full of guys. They're maybe in their 20s and we were in our 20s too. Um, and I could feel them staring at me and they roll down the window and they just start screaming like you fat pig, like all kinds of obscenities at me. And I was just in shock that at that age, at 27, 28, however old I was, um, that this could still happen and that other adults could still continue to bully a person. And it happened maybe 6 months ago. I was 10 o'clock in the morning. I was walking to FedEx to drop off a package. And I walk out and I'm walking to my car. And this guy, who clearly is a little bit unwell, but just starts screaming like fat ass bitch at me as I'm walking to my car. And, this time I felt like maybe my safety was a little bit compromised because my heart just started racing. Like I kind of felt like this possibly could be an unsafe situation. But
Mm-hmm.
again, the words don't hurt anymore because I don't really care. But what does baffle me is that adults can still do this to one another. And I know that I'm not the only one. I know there are other women, especially, who still get bullied in, some way, shape, or form. Sometimes it happens in our own friend groups, right? And so
Yes.
we don't think about bullying when it's somebody that we call a friend, but often there is bullying in friend groups and people trying to put you down and make you feel bad about things that you have or things that you don't have or what you're doing or what you're not doing. And that's a form of bullying too. And so it continues to be a pervasive problem, but I think that finding your grounding is key to not get swallowed up into it.
Oh my God, that's so good. But that's so good. Amy, I've seen you. You're not even overweight. Why is why are they saying that? You're not even overweight. It doesn't even make sense. It makes
Yeah.
no sense to me.
Well, thank you. I don't know what it is. I think that I'm a curvy person. I'm not stick thin. I don't know if that's considered fat to some people, but um it is what it is. Like I said, the words don't bother me anymore because I'm just grounded in who I am. I know
Yeah.
what I am and I know what I'm not. But um but it is as an adult, you're able to understand that people's words are their own pain. It's your own
Oh,
insecurities, it's your own issues that you're dealing with, and you're projecting them onto someone else because you perceive that person to either have something that you don't have that you want, or they have like something figured out that you just can't seem to figure out. And so the easiest thing to do is to make them feel bad about it and to put them down, whether you know them or not. So I have the wherewithal to know that now. But yeah, it is still fascinating to me that this could happen.
Wow. Wow. So someone comes across, I came across as a beautiful, put together, loves her brand, loves the fashion, really loves it. I felt
Mhm.
that. I still feel that. There's heart behind it. And would you say the heart behind your brand all was rooted out of this bullying thing?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Because if I hadn't been bullied, if I had just been, the popular girl, if I had just been accepted for who I was, I don't think that I would have poured myself into style the way that I did. It was a natural interest, but for me it was bigger than that, right?
Right.
Like as I described, it created an identity for me. It created confidence for me that I didn't have. And had it not been for the bullying, I don't think it would have had that big of an impact. And
Yes.
as I got older, and as I started this business, it's so important to me. The heart that you feel is me wanting to make sure that other women don't feel bad about themselves, whether they were bullied or not. There's a lot of women who feel terrible about themselves and have never been bullied. And regardless of where that feeling of discomfort with yourself comes from, helping women overcome that through style, because it helped me, is that heart that you feel. And so that's why, I took it a step further. And even since I met you, I got certified in neuro-linguistic programming. It's about what the clothes do for your energy and how you show up in the world. It's just the tools are just, or the clothes are just a tool. They're just a vehicle for the confidence, for the elevated energy. And so part of my work is helping women overcome these limiting beliefs, especially about themselves, so that they can fully show up, and we're not just putting a band-aid on it with the clothing. Putting somebody in a brand new wardrobe who has deep emotional issues around being seen, around investing in themselves, around self-worth is not going to help them. And so to me, the heart of my business is really helping women at the core.
Yes. And it shows. And I feel it. And I've seen even a more um a leveling up, even since we started working together.
Hmm.
There's been an energy shift. There's
Yeah.
been a greater confidence, but with the humility and kindness. There's been, and this is why this show is called Powerful Woman Rising. We're not trying to be better than, we're trying to be better than who we were yesterday.
Yes. Yes.
We are not entitled or arrogant. We are protecting our energy and our space,
Hmm.
right? Right? And so, what would you think? What would you say if somebody came and said, "Oh my gosh, Amy, who do you think you are now? I mean, I love the laugh because it tells me you're not affected. But
Yeah.
what would you say if someone's like, because I've seen such a shift already just on your content
Hmm.
presence since 6 months ago. And
Yeah.
so what would you how would you react to that person that's either a hater or a naysayer or whatever that comes and just wants to judge you really for the work they're not doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that be just a laugh off? How do you respond to someone like that?
Yeah, it's a laugh, and it's to keep on doing what you're doing, because I
Yeah.
don't get that verbally, but I get that non-verbally every day, because you know how many people I know them in real life. They're looking at every story I post, they're looking at every post I make, and they never like and support and comment. And I have plenty of people who always like and support and comment and are truly genuinely rooting for everything that I'm doing. And so I'm already getting that non-verbally. We all do, right? We all have the people who lurk at everything we're doing, want to keep tabs on us for whatever reason.
Ooh, yes, yes,
Like,
yes.
oh, like what's going on with the bit, like waiting for us to fail with a bag of popcorn in their hand like
Oh,
that's a
yes.
deeper problem that you should probably look into. But, um, like it's out there and they think you don't notice, but I notice. I just don't care. I'm glad that you notice that I have the courage and the confidence and the strength to build what I want to build in the way that I want to build it, where I want to build it. So thank you for noticing that, is what I would say to them. And I would say you should probably spend more time examining your own life. Because if you have enough time to lurk at somebody and make comments with someone and say things like, who do you think you are doing this, building a business, go dressing like that, off with this person, whatever. Like what's going on underneath your own hood there? That deserves to be looked at with more attention than you're spending on my profile.
I want you guys to know that every victory, every success, every book, every stage, every transformation that I have ever encountered was with a bunch of other people doing it in a room where people have already achieved it and people that are trying to achieve it. The power of fellowship, proximity is how we rise. It's not just the wins, it's also the fears, the self doubt, the failures. As we do it together, we learn and we grow through the dynamics, through the experiences, and holding each other's hand. This is why I've created the mastermind. The mastermind is a place, is a room where we do all of the heavy lifting and the emotional turbulence that comes with rising, whether it's a book or speaking on my stage or just personal transformation or all of it in the next 6 months, join us as we will be taking the next level and owning it with our power and our calling and together. The link is in the show notes.
So that's what I would say. I mean, I see it
But
every day,
I
but
know,
whatever.
right, right. Yeah, we see it every day, and I'm here to say I'm rooting for you. You
I
look
know you are.
great. You look great. You inspire me to want to be better in my clothes. You inspire me for just everything you're doing. And
Thank
your
you.
content is so elegant. Your outfits are so well put together. I've even noticed, which I didn't notice before, but I noticed now that you really do even zone in on body shapes to make
Hmm.
them feel like to work with their body shapes. And that helps people come out of shame.
Yeah.
I know, not some, often women are shamed for their body shape, their height,
Hmm.
whether they have big breasts or not, or whatever, aging. And so
Yeah.
I've noticed more that you focus and want to highlight and help them with their clothes. It's not just about looking good. It's about also really going in deeper with your work that you highlight their size and their God-given shape to how to really to work with it, not hate it. That's the way I
Yeah.
would say it.
Yeah, that's very true. I think that we as women are raised to believe in this society that the clothes should fit us, and if they don't, there's something wrong with us. And I
Oh,
hear it all the time. Oh, I can't pull that off. I can't wear this. That's not cut for my body. That's not made for me. You can achieve any look you want to with the appropriate tweaks, right? Like there are jeans that fit every body shape. Not everybody can wear wide leg jeans. It just physically, it's just not flattering on certain body shapes. On other body shapes, it's totally fine. That doesn't mean jeans aren't made for you. There are plenty of jeans made for you that are extremely flattering on your body shape. It's just a matter of finding the right ones. And it's same for tops, same for dresses, same for color placement on the body, right? Like women are always trying to visually look thinner, generally speaking. And there are tricks to that. There are visual tricks to that. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you and your body. And it certainly doesn't mean that clothes weren't made for you. You know, we're always taught to think like we have to fit into the clothes. But there are clothes out there that are made for us. And I think that, part of my work is helping women understand that and not be ashamed to maintain their shape. There's a lot of women I work with who are on weight loss journeys. There's a lot of women I work with who aren't. And they're like, this is what it is, especially, later in life, premenopause or around menopause, postmenopause. It is what it is. So I'm working with what I have and I'm trying to learn how to embrace what I am and who I am. And those are my favorite people because they already have done the hard part of accepting who they are. And accepting who you are doesn't mean you're ugly. It doesn't mean you're fat. It means that you're not allowing the outside world, including clothing manufacturing, to dictate how you feel about yourself.
Oh my God, this is so good for all age levels, even teenagers.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God, this is so good. There's so much stigma and shame around how we look as
Hmm.
women in this society. And you're saying, I'm not just helping you look good, I'm helping you on the internal to not feel the shame and not take on the judgment of others or
Yeah.
clothing brands. Like I'm thinking of some of the brands that are ridiculously small. I have to go into like a large or an extra large,
Yeah.
and I'm a six. So it's
Yeah.
so it's like if I allow, oh my God, did I gain weight? Oh my God, why? If I allow that manufacturing stitching affect my self-esteem, what am I? No,
Yeah.
right?
No, it's so true. I think I did a reel about this, like the size on the tag doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And I mean, there are women who are like, if I have to go up a size, I'm just not going to buy it, as if the number or the letter means anything about you. And if you think about it, like, I couldn't tell you what size shirt I have on right now. Do you really remember what size is on your tag? No one else can see the size on the tag. So
Right,
why would you let,
right.
like you said, like how something is stitched dictate how you feel about yourself? And I've gotten to the point where, yeah, depending on the brand, sometimes I'm going up 2, 3 sizes. But if I really like something and that's what's gonna fit, then that's what I'm gonna buy. It's just gonna
Yes.
be like an extra large instead of a small. Like that's fine. Like that's what fits. So I think helping people get to that point is part of the work and the process. It's not, and this is why, to be honest with you, I don't really like to call myself a stylist because I'm not here to like tell you this is trending and this is not. Like this isn't about looking cute and cute little outfits. Like I'm not saying that that's what other stylists are about, but I think when people hear the word stylist, they immediately think I'm like a retail salesperson, right? Like when you go into Nordstrom or Neiman Marcus and there's the associate there who is called a stylist even though they aren't really. They are a retail associate helping to sell you clothing. That's not what a good stylist does. A good stylist is someone who is helping you from the inside out and cultivating your own authentic style. And it's about working what you already have with what you already have, in addition to building a wardrobe that works together like a system. So it's not about selling you clothes or educating you on trends. I mean, that's like a little tiny part of it. But I think the reason why I don't like to be called a stylist is because I'm really more of a strategist. I'm really setting a
Mm.
style strategy with you and I'm executing that with you.
That's that's really powerful. That's what makes your brand pop for me. And I
Mhm.
know for my viewers too. That's what, because you really have gone under the hood.
Yes.
It's not just the color coordination
Yes.
or a match, although it is, because I'm looking at your necklace, I'm looking at those shoes, I'm looking at your jacket, and I'm thinking, I love it. I love it all.
Yeah.
But it's also the internal.
It's the internal
It's,
and
yeah.
the resistance that comes up for some people in the process too is another thing that is always very telling to me because not everyone has it. Some people are like, "Woohoo, this is fun." But there are people who it starts to churn up issues, right, that they have with themselves. It starts to bring up old memories.
Oh, yes.
And that's the best part. Those are my favorite because when you're done with it and they've changed how comfortable they are with being visible, that's a huge win.
I love what you just said. I love because I relate to it so much. That's how it is when I help people write books. When they have
Mm,
to write the chapters, they want to put it down, they want to throw it, they want to stop. And it's not the message of the book, it's that
yeah.
they relive their story. And
Yeah.
there's still some wounds coming back up, or they're afraid to expose their story.
Hmm.
I love that. And then when we finish the book, then because they're always looking at the excitement. But for you, unless they do it, ghostwrite it, but still, that's what it comes down to. Those are my
Yeah.
favorites that have high trauma that want to write. But it's just like what you're talking about. They come and they go, I want to look like you. And you're like, okay, let's do the work. And then all of a sudden their stuff comes up.
Yep.
Right? All their
Yes.
stuff come up. So let's talk about Craig because he's a fashionista too. Does he buy, I gotta ask you, does he buy his own clothes or do you? Do you help him with his clothes?
Oh, Craig has been a work in progress for a
But
long
he's
time.
fine. Yeah.
So it took a long time for Craig to want to take my advice, and he's getting there. And it's not that he doesn't trust me. He's just one of these men who's like, I feel like I look really good. I'm like, yo, you do look good, but you don't look the way that you want to look. You don't look like you're conveying what you want to convey. And that's the difference. It's not about looking bad. It's about looking in the way that
Oh.
you want for the life that you want. And, we talk about manifestation and all this stuff all the time. And this is part of it, like this is part of manifestation. It's walking the walk before you are on that road. And so this is what I tell Craig all the time. He's getting a lot better. When I met him, he was wearing like flannels and still looked like a frat boy in our 20s. So he's definitely getting better. But yeah, that's really what it's about. It's not someone wanting you to dress better isn't because you look bad. It's because there is a version of you that we all want to become. We all have this
Yes,
aspirational us, right? And in order to become that person, whether you like it or not, part of that is how you look, right? Like
yes, yes,
people wouldn't argue about it if you were talking about fitness. Like, oh, aspirational you is super fit. Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. That's important. Fitness is important for my aspirational person. So
yes,
is clothing. How does that person show up every day in their life?
yes. And it comes back to boundaries. It's a boundary.
Yes. Yes.
It's a boundary.
It is a boundary. You are
It
right.
it is a boundary.
Yes.
It just occurred to me. I connected it through our times together. It's a boundary. I refuse to go outside or put this together or wear this because it's
Yes.
gonna take away from my truth. Not that and see that's the thing. I think the stigma is so much that people think, oh my God, she's all that. They get this judgment, but it's
Hmm.
really being true to myself.
Yes. I'm glad you said that drawing the parallel with the boundary, because one of my favorite quotes, I don't know who said it, it's not mine, but it's wear we we wear what we believe about ourselves. So, in your example, yes, it's setting a boundary of, I am a certain person or I want to be a certain person, so I set boundaries that I'm not going to dress anything outside of that boundary, right? I'm not going to go to the grocery store in my leggings, even though that would be easy because that's not on brand for me. Not my business, for me. But it goes the opposite way too, right? Like setting a boundary, this is boundary work because if you allow yourself to show up on your Zoom calls looking like you just rolled out of bed, and that's how you conduct your business when you work from home, or that's how you go out when you are running errands, going to the movies, whatever it is you're doing, that's a boundary that you've set for yourself too. And in order to become the aspirational version of you, that boundary has to shift and change. And it's
Yes.
not superficial and it's not materialistic. It's about embodying the person that you want to become.
Ooh, that's so good. It's about embodying the person you want to become. You're at home. I'm at home.
Hmm.
I like snakeskin. I love animal print and snakeskin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have snakeskin walls for my office, right?
Yeah.
You're at home. I could have shown up in like, I don't know, but I wouldn't feel the energy that I need to connect with you. It actually affects personal relationships.
Yes.
That's another piece. I wouldn't be able to vibe with you, connect with you because I'm not in my full self. I'm shrinking a little bit.
Yeah. It's absolutely true. And people, I think especially entrepreneurs get so comfortable in, comfy clothes. They don't think it's important, especially outside of, if your industry is not aesthetics based like mine is, for example. People get so comfortable with it, but they don't realize that they're actually shutting out a lot of conversation that could be had when they're out and about because they're not presenting themselves a certain way. It
Yeah.
happened to one of my clients actually. She was going to get her hair done and she, threw on some yoga clothes and went to go get her hair done. Well, the person in the chair next to her was a massive business opportunity for her. And she texted me after and she was like, "Oh my God, Amy, can you believe this? Like I was just going to get my hair done and then turns out the person next to me is like a huge connection that I could have for my business. And then I feel so embarrassed because look at me, look at how I was dressed." So it is important. You don't have to like it and you don't have to agree with it, but we are humans, and the human brain has an immediate perception of someone based on how they look, not just their
Yes.
clothes, but how they're put together, the whole thing, right? And we make immediate judgments. It's a knee-jerk reaction. So to say it's not important is denying human nature. It is important, and it's important for business because you don't know who may strike up a conversation with you because of how you look, how you present yourself. But if you're walking around looking like crap all the time, you just look like everyone else, you know? And so I think it's important in a lot of different ways.
It's vital, actually. It's
Yes.
vital. I know myself, I have shrank in conversations because of what I was wearing. And oh my God, I didn't expect to run into this person.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't expect to run into this person. I
Yeah.
and now where I know when I'm dressed in my most authentic self, then the conversations flow, the connections happen.
Yes.
Because when we shrink, there's a mistrust happens. There is a mistrust happening because it's like, why are you not? What's going on? We
You're,
feel that.
yes.
We feel that. So tell us a little bit about business. Do you have clothes in your home that you actually sell? Do you go shop for them? Do you do an analysis of their personality and what they want? How do they get to where they are to where they want to be working with you with their clothes?
Yeah, so the process is very strategic. When I meet with somebody for the first time, we're not talking about clothing or style yet. If we're doing the mindset work together, it's really about what's holding you back in your life. And everybody's different and that looks different for everybody, but essentially it's an opportunity to work on your limiting beliefs and uncover the things that are holding you back from, let's say, getting into the relationship that you really want, or starting the business you've been thinking about, or showing up at work so you can get the promotion you want. Everybody has different personal and
Yes.
professional goals, but so many of us carry limiting beliefs that are crippling. They literally just waste years and years and years of our lives because we're just stuck in this loop of thinking certain things about ourselves or how the world works. So that's kind of the first piece when I'm doing mindset work with people. And then it gets into the strategy of style, right? Like, what is your personality? What do you do in your free time? How do you move when you're at work? Like, do you work from home? What do your meetings look like? So it's not just surface level. It's like really trying to get into the life of my client and understand
Mhm.
how they move and like what the weather patterns are like and what their travel situations are like. And with kids, like I get a lot of moms who are like, I love nice clothes. My kids are always like pulling at my earrings and hair, and I just have to be very cognizant of that. So It's like working around little things like that. And then, like I said, my job isn't to sell clothes, it's to style and to create a cohesive wardrobe. So going into the existing closet is a huge part of the process because I need to not only do I need to know what you have so I can work with it, but it's a purge because you can't get over here if you don't let go of the stuff that's kept you stuck. And it doesn't sound like it should be that deep, but for a lot of people, it is that deep. There is
Yeah.
so much hiding in their closet that they are emotionally hanging on to. So it does get deep sometimes. And, some clients I have, like I just had one last week, she's like, let's get rid of everything. I just want to get rid of all of it. I'm like, great, let's do it. But not everybody is like that. And so working through that together, and that's usually where, there might be some additional mental work on limiting beliefs that come up that we need to work through. And then the style strategy is really what I help execute on. So I don't take my clients shopping, I don't waste their time. Everything is very white glove. So I do my curating and my shopping based on, everything we've talked about up to that point. And then I come to their home and I set everything up like a little store and we try on everything in complete outfits. I have a digital closet that I work with my clients on. And for my virtual clients, it's the same thing. It's just that it's happening over Zoom and I'm shipping stuff to their home. So the process is not designed to drag people around. It's designed to really save them time, but also be fun and create this level of comfort where they really feel like it's an opportunity to elevate themselves, not just change their clothing.
Wow, I love this. It's so you could literally work from anybody from California, New York,
Yeah.
Texas, and be in your own home, and they can be in their own home. You
Yeah.
literally can do everything.
Yes, one of my biggest clients, she's on retainer with me now. She's in California. I did the entire process with her virtually. Every time I style with her, it's all virtual, and she's raving about me to everyone and like sends so many people my way, and they're always like, "But you don't work together in person?" Like, yeah, you don't need to. Thanks to magic of technology, we can do this all virtually. I mean, it's not quite as white glove as I would love because I'm not there to, do all the unboxing and everything for you, but it's still very it's still the same level of impact.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, as you grow in yourself, is your style changing too?
Yes.
Is it? It
Yes.
is?
Yeah, it's funny because people always ask me like what is your closet situation like? And I'm
Yeah.
editing my closet like every week. So I like to have a revolving door in my closet. So I do resale for my clients for, luxury things, and I also do resale for myself. So I'm constantly pulling stuff out, selling it, buying new stuff, and it's like a revolving door.
Yeah.
And through that process, I am noticing trends of my style changing. I'm getting a little bit older, but it's kind of fun because sometimes I learn through my clients. Like when I'm shopping for them, I learn more things about myself and what I'm naturally gravitated towards. So yeah, my style is evolving as my work with clients evolves too. It's funny.
It is
Yeah.
funny, but you embrace it because you're used to
Yes.
it.
Yeah,
You
I'm used to
know,
it.
you're used to it, and I do that too. I do a sweep, I sell, or I give away, and I
Hmm.
create for the new, and it's really an emotional refresher.
It really is. I love doing it. I mean, to get rid of stuff, it sounds wasteful, but it's not. You're donating or you're selling. So either way, you're giving and getting something in return. But it is emotionally cathartic because, like I said, there's so many people who just have trapped emotions in their closet. They're clinging on to a version of themselves they wish they still looked like, or a time in their life that was more fun than what they're going through right now, or whatever it may be, life before being a mom. And there's no reason to hang on to those things, but you have to let go in order to create room for new, not just in our closets, but in our lives. And so, yeah, I love doing it for that reason, not just to get new things, but also because it's like shedding skin on like a versions of yourself, like shedding layers of skin.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. And it's yeah, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it
Really a
is.
good feeling. It really it's almost you get more energy back.
Yes, absolutely. Like the shoes that you see behind me, those are
Yeah.
all shoes that I've pulled for sale. So they represent my old style. I liked things that were a little bolder and funkier and had all kinds of embellishments on it. And
Yeah.
I'm learning these days that that's not so much me anymore, but I have no issues around it, but getting rid of them and like seeing them here lined up to go is like an emotional release for me. I love it.
I love it. Here's the honesty. I think I'm looking forward to going and doing another edit after this podcast. I am.
Yes.
But this is what happens when we
Yeah.
vibe, we connect. And this is why I adore you, is because you are always evolving. You're always growing. You are always trying to reach your highest self. You're always learning, as you just mentioned, you got another certificate. These are the kind of relationships that I nurture and I like to have on my podcast. People that are moving forward, not going backwards. And it's not
Yes.
judgment, but I also have to protect my energy. I have to protect my growth. I want to be around people that are inspired, that want to do bigger, clean out, unlimiting beliefs, get rid of the shoes. And I'm looking at your shoes right now. I have to ask, is that red ribbon on the plant part of the shoe or the plant?
Yeah, that's the ankle strap. It's like a double ankle strap.
I love
Those
it.
shoes are huge. They're like this high.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it so much. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Well, Amy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I will share this and in the footnotes how to get a hold of you, all the ways to get a hold of you and connect with you. And are you still doing sponsorship or vendors or showing up at events with your style?
I have not since the event that we met at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might for the right opportunity. I might
Yeah,
entertain
yeah.
again.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, well, good. Well, thank you so much because I grew just being with you in my fashion.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you for being here.